Okay, we are going to do a very basic one-point perspective drawing. I started by doing a 1.5 inch grid on this paper. That's just going to help. You don't have to do that, but I recommend it. I did that by taking a ruler, measuring 1.5 inches, making a little mark. Then I did that again a little bit further up and just connected the dots to create this 1.5 inch grid. For one-point perspective in any sort of perspective drawing, you need to start with a horizon line, and this represents where your eye level is. So I'm going to take this line right here and darken it up, and that will represent our horizon line. And I'll write that right there. And on this line we need a vanishing point. That's where all of our lines that go directly out from our eyes go towards this vanishing point, and I'll explain that. And you can put it anywhere on the horizon line, but for the sake of easiness, we're going to put it right in the middle. That's called the vanishing point. If you stand on railroad tracks and look towards where those railroad tracks go, they go towards the vanishing point. It looks like they converge upon each other. Okay, now I'm going to choose a few of these squares to turn into cubes. So I'm just going to pick this square right here. I'll darken this in so you can see which square I'm doing. Then I'm going to draw another square right here, right across the horizon line. I'm going to make this into a square. And then I'll do one up here. So do a square bottom left, just right to the vanishing point, so it crosses the horizon line, and then in the top right of the paper. Now what we're going to do is connect each corner of each of these squares to the vanishing point using our ruler. So I'll line the ruler up with the vanishing point in the corner of the square, and I draw a line. I'll draw my lines nice and dark so you see them, but I recommend that you do it light because you'll want to erase some of them. And do the same thing with each of these squares from the corner to the vanishing point. Each corner. And you can see immediately how our two-dimensional squares are suddenly becoming three-dimensional, or at least we give them that illusion. Now we want to change these columns. It's almost like we're looking down on some skyscrapers. We're going to change these square columns into cubes, and we're going to do that by drawing the back side of the box. We'll say these are going to be a box, and if you think about a box, 99% of the time the box is the same in the front and the back, on the top and the bottom, and on the two sides. So we're going to say the back of this box is exactly the same as the front. So that means if our front line right here is exactly horizontal, we need to draw the back side of the box the same way, going straight across, so these two lines are parallel. The front side of the box right here goes straight up and down, so the back side of the box goes straight up and down. And you can use your grid on the paper to help you see where your ruler is and make sure you're going straight up and down. It's very common for people to make a diagonal line like this. Make sure your ruler is lined up with these grid lines. Okay, now we need to do the bottom of the cube. So the front bottom is exactly horizontal, so I'll line my ruler up so it looks horizontal to this line right here, and draw a line straight across. And if we've done this right, we'll do a line going straight up, and we have a cube. And do the same thing on these two. It doesn't matter how deep you make your cube. I'm just going to say, okay, about right there, a line straight up and down, and from this bottom back corner, straight across, then straight up, straight across again. So I'm making the same shape, that's a square, And this is a square. This is just a little smaller because we're giving the illusion that it's going back into space. Now I'm going to erase some of these lines just so they don't confuse me. And draw a line straight up and down right here. Straight across. Straight down. Straight across. I have the back of that cube now. And I'll take a colored pencil. I'm going to darken in these lines so you can see them better and see how we made a cube. If you want your cubes to be solid, you would just draw the lines that you would actually see if this were a box that was closed off. If you want it to look see-through, you can darken all of the lines. And then I will erase any lines that are not part of the cube. So for this assignment, you need to have 3 finished cubes, just like that. Your next assignment, which will be on the back side of this paper, you'll draw 7 squares or rectangles. At least 3 of them need to overlap each other. So if I were to draw squares or rectangles, what I mean by overlapping is something like this. You need to also have a horizon line with a vanishing point, and you'll do just like we did before. Just remember, if they're overlapping, you need to make it look like they are.